Hi, Hi, Bubba. Hi, baby. Everyone. My name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. Hi, hello. Welcome to the start of another weekend vlog. It is 1 a.m. I need to go to bed because I have my second ever book fair tomorrow. It's gonna be a long fucking day, but I'm ready. I have finished Katabasis tonight and I am reeling, I think is the word to say, from that book. It took me a while to get through it because it was just a lot for my brain. Academics. But I feel like I'm gonna have to sit on it to really be able to talk this through. But like, it was really, really good. Fucking R.F. Kuang's brain, man. R.F. Kuang's brain. And yesterday I also finished this book, House of the Beast by Michelle Wong. I started and finished it yesterday and it was fine. So we're going into this weekend with, like, I was about to say a blank slate, but you guys know if you saw my TBR video, my end of year TBR video, that it is not a blank slate. I have 4 books that I'm currently reading. 4 books that I have read a little bit of that I should be continuing to read, but we'll see what I end up reading because I also really, really, really want to read this one right here. Ye Olde Second Death of Locke. Really want to. So who's to say? That might be what ends up happening. But as for now, it's bedtime. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I have a book fair tomorrow. I have a book fair and I have lost my remote. Shit. Shit. No, this happens every single day. There's 2 of them. There's my Roku remote and then this one. Oh, it's probably around me somewhere, but aside the point, welcome to the vlog. It's gonna be a pretty cool one, I think, with the fair tomorrow and then with just relaxing on Sunday. I can tell you that. Packed all my stuff. I'm carrying everything in bags tomorrow. So hopefully I don't have to, you know, I feel like I've distributed the weight well enough because I decided to also bring a backpack. So I put some of the books in the backpack as well as like some supplies. And then I've got 2 tote bags, 3 tote bags actually. So I feel like I'll be well balanced tomorrow, bringing all my stuff up to the library because it's at the Millennium Library here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how tomorrow goes. I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to bed. But yeah, welcome to the vlog. It's gonna be a good one. Margot frowned and hit pause, letting the sounds of snow and wind outside fill the room again. She hesitated, finger hovering over the play button. A distant shovel scraped against concrete. Jack. Margot abandoned what had been turning out to be an incredible moment of satisfaction for the fictional characters Maxwell and Claire and wove her way around the tiny desk, careful not to dislodge any of the books. Margot poked her head out of the front door, tucking her thick woolen turtleneck closer to her as crisp, icy wind cut right down to her bones. Hey? The figure shoveling hesitated mid-scrape, frowning. Jacqueline Wright turned, dressed in her usual thick and well-worn sand-colored winter jacket, her head bare to the elements. Hey friends! Happy Saturday. I am now home. We're doing inventory because today was fucking amazing. I have 2 bookmarks left. I have no cat stickers left. And I have all sorts of round ones left. But freebies, Best thing in the world. Freebies are the best. I also sold every single copy I had of A Little Luck. I have 1 copy of A Second Story left, and 2 copies of A Favorite Fae left, and 1 of Merry and Bright. I am so pleased. I have not looked at how much money I've made today in cash, but in card, I've made $294, which means that between these 2 book fairs that I've had, I have made back my money that I spent plus, which is incredible. Today was so good. It was so constant and busy and amazing, and everyone who came in was just so nice. Like, everyone who came and stopped by at my table was just so kind, and I'm shocked. So yeah, this is all I had left, including my 2 really beat up copies of my own books that I brought for the reading that I did. I ended up reading just from Merry and Bright, but this is all I had left. I had 3 tote bags and a backpack full of books today, and this is all I have left. I am fucking so happy. I'm so happy. What a like, I don't think I will ever top this fair. It was so good. Everyone was so nice. The volunteers were on the ball. Everything, like, nothing went wrong. Hello, my love. I missed you. You were just hanging out in the closet. You said I was having naps. Mom, I didn't know you were home. Such a good day. I still have so many bags, but I offered everyone a bag. People need to take bags. Absolutely amazing. I need to go through all my transactions to see how many books I did sell, and then I gotta go through my cash box to see how much I made. But today I spent $40, but nothing on books, because for the books I did trades instead. So I ended up getting our Dunraven's new cozy book that just came out with Spice, which is awesome. They're a local author, and I also drove them today. So we've known each other for a little while online. I also picked up this absolutely cutie patootie little book sleeve. It was only $15, which is crazy. These go for like 30 plus online. And I also, from that same table, I picked up some stickers and also some prints that I'm just obsessed with. These are so beautiful. I love so much. Winnie the Pooh, absolutely. And then another trade I did was this one, the Manor on Orchid Lane, apologies, which is 2 authors, and one of them, Aubrey Taylor, was at the other fair that I did. And I didn't know which one I was gonna pick up from them, but then when my friends came to visit me today, all of them stopped by Aubrey's table, and Aubrey and her friend Rowan, who wrote this together, were like pitching this. And this is like supernatural romance vibe. So I had to pick it up, obviously. But yeah, I did great today. So $40 spent on all of this. Crazy. But yeah, these 2 books I swapped for copies of A Favorite Fae. This is adorable. I love this so much. And I'm gonna study how whoever did this so that I can make more myself. Because it's so cute and it looks pretty easy. So yay for that. This maker is at Fables and Frogs Art on Instagram, if you are curious and want to go check them out. It's right there at the bottom. Amazing. And then one of the people at the table, because this is one of their friends, they said they have like a horror comic thing online if you guys want to check that out as well. So yay for makers, yay for artists, yay for books. It was a really good day. I was next to the Whodunit books table, which Whodunit is a bookstore in my city that's been around for like 30 plus years. It was really nice being next to their table. One, because like one of the workers they had there was really cute and really nice, so that was great. But also because there were so many people going to their stall because they just had so many different books that like people would always have to be passing by my table. And also, I was right by the elevators, so like I'm the first thing you see when you open up those doors, and you have to pass me basically twice, maybe even 3 times if you're doing your rounds, you know? So it was a really good spot to be in, and I'm very happy with everything that went down, and I'm so excited to calculate all the things. The best thing was the fact that I got to leave with only 1 tote bag in my hand and my backpack on my back, rather than 3 in my backpack. So I was very weighed down on the way there, but anyways, I'm now surrounded by stuff. I need to put everything away. Amazing. Oh, what a good day. What a good day. It was so fantastic. Every single person that came up to my table was so nice. The cat freebie stickers were the best thing ever. I talked about you a lot, my love. People loved the fact that I had black cat stickers. Yeah. I know, but yes. And my reading went well. I think Sophia got a clip of it, so it'll be in here somewhere. I'm so happy. What a day, what a day, what a day. Hello friends, it's Sunday now. I'm back home and I just finished reading the second Death of Locke. Was that the best book that I read this year so far? Might have been. It might have been. I'm not gonna lie. The first like best book of the year was Parable of the Sower. And then that was beat out by Green Teeth, which is kind of crazy. It was just an enjoyment thing. And that was beat out by The Raven Scholar. And then that was beat out by The Bone Season. I think this one just beat out The Bone Season. I have never been so stressed reading a book and wanting desperately for the two main characters to be okay at the end. I have never been so scared. First of all, the yearning. I wanted to slap some sense into both of our characters for the fact they didn't realize the other was fucking in love with them. Like, thank you to the author for doing that, because holy shit, I have never, ever read a book where two characters were so clearly soulmates. And like, after the moment where they finally fucking confessed to each other that they love each other, my favorite thing about this book was the fact that nothing changed. Like, that they just realized it, and like nothing was more, nothing was less, nothing was more horny, nothing, like, yeah, we got to the horny at one point, but like, It wasn't immediate. It was just, they finally realized what was true between them the whole time and nothing changed. This book was perfect. I've seen so much hate for this book recently and I don't get it. I don't get it because this book was perfect. It was perfection, okay? I don't even, like, I was reading someone's review as they were reading it, someone that I follow, and like, this is someone who I'm like, okay, at this point, we only agree on Gideon the Ninth. Everything else, it's a total flip-flop of opinions. So I was watching her read this book on Goodreads and her like commentary on it, and the fact that she got to like 40% and she's like, I'm hating this. This is awful for XYZ reasons. And I got to that point and I was like, how the fuck could you hate this book? I don't understand. It was so beautiful. Oh my God, Tori Bovalino. Oh my God, VL Bovalino. Bitch, how did you do this? This book is perfect. It's perfection. It's my favorite book of 2025. I've been yelling with Sophia over voice notes for the past 10 minutes. I was giving her live reactions to me reading the ending, or like the last chunk of the book, and like we've just been yelling about it. This is what I want in a romantasy. This is what I want. I don't want sex all the time. I don't give a fuck. I want yearning. I want two people who so clearly are meant for each other. And, this book was perfect. This book was perfect. Guys, I can't even. This follows Gray Flynn. I don't even think I told you what this is about. Gray, our main character, and she is a well. And in this world, there are mages and there are wells. And wells are kind of like a battery for the mage, and they're paired up and they like tether to one another. And her mage is Kier, basically her best friend since she was like 8 years old. She is so desperately in love with him, and they are stationed together. They've been at war for forever. They've been in this place for like 6 months, and then they get a mission essentially to go get this resource. They're not told what it is. It ends up being this young girl to get this resource and bring that somewhere, bring that safely to somewhere else. And they do that, and that is all I'm going to tell you, because there's so many political things happening in this book. There are so many intricacies of world building, and it's bleak and sad and slower and churning, but it is perfect, and it is beautiful, and it is soft, and it's quiet in its gravity, and yet it is so loud and amazing. And there's not a single moment in this book that was rushed, that was overdone. It's perfect. It was perfect. Holy shit. Anyways, today's been good. Today's been good. I say after having sobbed for the last hour reading this book, probably more, because shit was happening at the end. I'm just so glad that I can reread this now knowing what happens and not be like super stressed the whole way through. I can actually get to like enjoy this book now. When I reread, like, I was enjoying this book like crazy, but I have never been so stressed for two characters in my life. And I literally had to put this down yesterday before watching The Mummy, because I was just so like, oh my God, the yearning, my heart hurts, the yearning book. So I had to put it down at like 40-some% yesterday, because I was like, I can't do this. And then I decided to watch The Mummy, which was very fun and very good, because I'm working on Project Mummy right now. I'm prepping it, if you will. And it was very helpful to rewatch that movie. Today, I took it easy. I think I slept for like 10 hours after the fair yesterday. Oh, I also didn't tell you, I did all the math and I looked at all the numbers and stuff. I don't know how many books I sold yesterday. All I know is that I has sold, it was $300 gross fees through the Square app, right, for tapping for cards. And then after the small fee that they take, it was $294, which is amazing. And the amount of transactions through the Square app was 18 books itself. So I sold over 20 books for sure, because I probably sold over 30 books. I don't know how many books I had with me. That was the problem. I didn't like logistically keep track of what I was selling, because I counted the cash and I made $195 cash yesterday. In total, I made over $400 yesterday, which is crazy. So in one day, I made up and then some all of the money that I spent getting these fairs ready, or getting ready for the fairs. In total, with both of the book fairs that I've been to, I made in total over $600 and profited over $250 or something. I can't remember the exact maths, but I have my little, here it is. Did the math all funkily here. I made $260.08 on top of the $354.74 that I spent on this. And I say that specifically because I believe in that video that I made for like my prepping for my book fair stuff, I said I spent over $370 some, but I did not use that bookshelf that I bought, and I ended up reselling it on Facebook Marketplace for $20. So I bought it for $30, but I sold it for $20, which is totally fine. I detracted that from what I spent. I made about $260, which is crazy, but the amount of money that I made in total, $614.82 over the 2 fairs that I had in September. So what I've learned from this is that book fairs are great. Book fairs are awesome. If I can be a part of events like this previous one more, I definitely will, like the queer vendor fair, because at a fair like that, I knew my product was going to move, and I almost sold out. Like, I sold out of a little luck. I had 1 copy of Marian Bright left and a second story left. Like, I was going to sell out if anyone else came in. The fact that I knew my product was going to move at the queer vendor fair, because I am a very bubbly person. I had many people tell me. I had this wonderful guy come up to me, and he was like, I just love your energy. Like, you're so bubbly, you're so bright, you're so smiley. Like, you just draw people in and you're wonderful. I'm like, oh, thank you. And, oh my God, so many people, I think I mentioned this yesterday, but I still can't get over the fact that so many people recognize my books from somewhere. Like, they saw them on social medias and remembered them, and then were excited to meet me. And then there's like a couple people who are like, oh my God, I didn't even know that you were in Winnipeg. I didn't know you were based in Winnipeg. And I was like, yeah, bitch, I live here. I live here. I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Dead fucking center of Canada. And the prairies. But like, it was just such a fantastic experience. And I think if I was to do any other fairs that weren't this like queer vendor fair, I would want to search out fairs that were specifically either fantasy driven, queer driven, or something like that. Because I think if I did any like craft fairs or a general book fairs like the Steinbach one, I know the Steinbach one was not like always going to be in Steinbach. It's an Authors of Manitoba thing, so it was, they're probably going to move around a little bit, but like those I can expect to sell like maybe 5 books, which is not worth it for me. So I want to go to places, I want to be part of these little events that are actually going to be worth it, but I don't want to do a lot of them. I don't want to do a lot of them, even though they are lucrative. That was lucrative. That was a very lucrative weekend yesterday, which is awesome. So I love that. I love that my first 2, like, I mean, the Authors of Manitoba one was fun and good, and I did well considering a lot of other people there barely moved any, if no, books or units or anything. They just sat there for 6 hours or however many hours we were there, from 11 to 5, and didn't sell a thing. So like, I did move stuff. I was very lucky. And I'm very happy that I sold 8 books at that fair. But I can expect, like, if I was to be part of a craft fair in the city or something like that, unless, again, it was something fantasy-based, it was something queer-based. Like, the people who are coming to those fairs aren't people who are going to be buying my books necessarily. Like, they might be somewhat interested. Like, the one person who showed up at my booth in Steinbach was like, oh my God, cozy fantasy. I love cozy fantasy. And they picked up my entire trilogy, right? Like, yeah, I might have 1 or 2 people who love fantasy and love cozies. I had multiple people come to the booth yesterday as I was pitching my book and be like, oh, it's kind of like Legends and Lattes vibes. And they were like, oh, I love Legends and Lattes. So then they picked up my book, right? So like, they knew more of the things. And then the Sapphics were really loving the Sapphic books. I'm so happy that I sold so many novellas. Like, one of the things that really got Marian Bright going at the fair yesterday was the fact that it was $5. And it came with the audiobook attached to it. As I was pitching it to everyone, like, I had my little sales tactic right under the way, because I was like, okay, one thing I hate about going to these fairs as a consumer is having somebody like reach out and put their tethers in you and you can't leave because they just won't shut up, right? Like one of those, you feel like you have to buy something or talk to them or whatever. I never want to be that person. I always want to give people space to approach the table as they will. So if they come up to the table and they start looking at stuff, I'll be like, oh, like stickers are free and bookmarks are free. They act as my business card. My info's on the back. And then if they kind of go, oh, okay, thanks. And then they like hover and look at the stickers, I'll like maybe chat to them more. Or if they start looking at my books, then I'll be like, these 3 are interconnected standalones, part of a cozy fantasy series. And then that on the end is my cute contemporary sapphic bite-sized novella Christmas thing. And they always were like, oh, fantastic. So like, that was my spiel. Very quick, very easy. And then like, if anyone asked me more of things, I would explain more. Yesterday, because it was the queer vendor fair, I was very like this one's gay, this one's sapphic, and then I would, as I tapped a second story in A Little Luck, and then I tapped a favorite fae, and I'd be like, and this one, the rep is demi and bi, as I like touched both of their faces. So like, that really helped. And also the covers were just stunning. Again, they just moved material because some people bought a favorite fae just because of the cover. Like, some of them even came up and were like, I have to, because the cover is just so beautiful. And I'm like, absolutely, it fucking is. My cover artist is the best. So, oh, look, it's the baby. Big stretches. Anyways, I'm so happy. This weekend was so fantastic. I also finished Katabasis, not a 5-star. I think I liked it less than Babel, but I still really enjoyed it. I think it was really well done for what it is, but I've been seeing a lot of interesting conversations about R.F. Kuang and her work and her characters, and I definitely think R.F. Kuang's characterization is very samey. And I might have mentioned it at another point in this video or a previous vlog where I was talking about Katabasis, but the fact that she creates her characters in a very same way, like they're all at the very end, like they have gone past limits. They are just this same hard-headed, you want to slap sense into them, but you know that's not going to do anything because there's no sense to be had. She has done that with every one of her characters. Like, it is Rin, it is the main character of Yellowface, I think her name is June, it is the main character of Babel, and that is the main character of Katabasis. They are all very similar in that way. I would say that Alice Law is the furthest gone, but I think what kind of failed Katabasis for me, spoilers ahead for the ending. I totally forgot to flag this. I'm so sorry. Spoilers, mute me if you don't want to hear. I'm giving you a little bit of time to come back to the video if you're away from it. But like, I'll leave a little banner at the bottom. You can unmute me when it's gone. Okay, thanks, bye. Not that it was a failure, it's probably like a 4-star book for me, is that the ending was so gratuitous. And it was so happy, fun time. We did it! Like, feeling. Like, it felt unearned. It didn't feel like, yeah, we had character arcs throughout it because the majority of the story is a character study, but it just didn't quite have the satisfaction that I wanted at the end of it. And I think it was like a genuine, just a euphoria in Alice Law at the end, and like all of the different things we were getting from her. I don't think it should have been a romance. I don't think there should have been a romance in this at all. I think our main characters should have just been friends at the end and like had that connection instead, because that added to like almost a fake feeling at the end. Like, it was just, oh, everything wrapped up so beautifully, big bow, shiny, you know? It felt too easy at the end, which is crazy to say because that entire book was so not easy and such a battle from top to bottom to get to the end, but the ending felt too giddy. It felt too giddy of an ending. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel right. And I think Babel is still my absolute favorite of her books. I really need to reread that book because I think that book was just perfect as well. The ending of that book, though it fucking hurts and it like ripped my entire soul out of my body, it was exactly what that book needed. It was exactly what it needed. And I think that, I don't know. I am going to be very interested to see what R.F. Kuang does next. But I think if she does not get a little better at her characterization, I don't know if I will keep picking her stuff up. Although, like, everything she releases, it's new and it's exciting and it's an opportunity for her to do better, right? And, like, grow as a writer and stuff like that. This, like, she is one of the most, I don't know how to say that. Like, she just, not prolific, that's not the right word, but, like, she immediately came out of the gate with the Poppy War, which is fucking insane. Like, that trilogy is insane, even though the third book absolutely fucking ruined the trilogy for me. The first 2 books are so fucking good. So well done. Book 3 is a trash fire. But I think the ending of book 3 is perfect for that series. It needed to happen. Can you not chew things? Thank you, my dear. Like, what are you doing? But yeah, the ending of that book was absolutely perfect as well for the series as a whole. But the book itself is bad. Like, it's not well done, which is crazy. But like, the fact that she did that, and then she did, I can't remember if she did Yellowface or Babel next, but like, she moved and shifted her genre either fully from fantasy to Yellowface, which is lit fic horror thriller, not a horror, but like, it's contemporary, right? And then she shifted to Babel, which is dark academia, very like urban fantasy vibes. And then she shifted again into this, which is more along the lines of Babel for sure. And then she's shifting again. She's going back to lit fic with the next one. So I'm really happy for what she's done with her career and how like she's allowed herself and she's established herself in so many different genres that she is catching a lot of readers. Like she caught the epic fantasy readers with the Poppy War. She caught the weird girl lit readers with Yellowface. And she caught some dark academia lovers with Babel. And this one, she's catching a lot of the mythology lovers and like stuff. Like she is doing her shit. She is stretching her fingers in all of the genres. And I'm really interested to see what she does next. But again, her characters are kind of meh. And they just are across the board, in my opinion. I just don't think they do anything groundbreaking. I don't think they're very well done in a lot of instances, even though she creates wonderful stories. I think her best work is Babel, and her best character work is in Babel as well. Like, those characters have layers. These characters in Katabasis, sure, they had like backstory and secrets and stuff, but I don't really feel like they had many layers. Like, we just had Alice Law, who was extremely traumatized and extremely depressed and didn't realize it. Suicidal and didn't realize it until she got to hell. And then we have Peter, who is chronically ill, and he's an academic. Derogatory. And again, he didn't really feel very realized. He felt a little manic pixie dream girl. Actually, you know what? Who felt manic pixie? Alice Law. I'm not like other girls. I'm not like other girls, which is unfortunate. I feel like she even said it at one point. Really bad. But yeah, I think the characterization in Babel was the best that R.F. Kuang has done. Although Katai from the Poppy War, he's still my boy. I love him so much. Anyways, that's my long ramble and to catch you up on everything. But yeah, I just read my favorite book of the year again because I keep reading books upon books. I have not in so many years found a favorite book this late in the year. Usually my favorite books show up in February or April, I've noticed. Those are like the themes. Because I remember reading Empire of the Exiles last year really early in the year, and that was my favorite book. And it's one of my favorite books of all time, if not my favorite book of all time. I gotta reread Gideon to like see, because Gideon is my favorite book of all time at the moment. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy finding, like, just keep reading amazing books. Maybe this like second part of the year is gonna turn everything around. I honestly thought I was gonna leave September without finding a 5-star. I thought Night and the Moth was gonna be the best book that I read this month, but no, that is The Second Death of Locke, because The Second Death of Locke is the best book I've read this year, and it is one of my new favorite fantasy books ever. Like, if romantasy is not this, I don't want it. This is the romantasy that I want. Thank you very much. Anyways, I'm gonna leave this now because I've been talking to you for 22 minutes and I have a little bit of a headache for the amount of time that I spent sobbing. So I'll catch up with you tomorrow for Monday, but like, well, what a weekend. What do you see, babe? Keep getting hit by her tail. What do you see? What are you doing? What do you see? What do you see? I feel like she's gonna jump. Thank you for this. I appreciate it so much. Maybe. Hey. Can you leave my lamp alone? Is that a possibility? What are you doing? What are you doing? You tiny heathen. You're gonna knock all my frames off the wall if you're not careful. Baby. Baby. That is your picture of you, my love. Be careful. Yes. Thank you for sitting right on my face. I appreciate it. Hello. Now you're down there. Oh, and now you're back up here. Oh dear. I don't know what you see. I don't know what you were so entranced by. I really don't. Oh my sweet girl. You're sitting so politely, baby. Wow. Wow. You want to be in there, hey? Oh, wow, you can reach so far. You're such a tall girl. How about you sit down? How about you just sit down and watch instead of attacking the screen? How about you just sit down? There you go. Good girl. Don't go behind the piano. We don't need that. There you go. Good girl. Oh, okay. Up close and personal with Cat TV today. Did you find a book? You better get it before it goes in my books. You better get it. Oh, it's gone. Now what? Good job. You in the little hole? Yeah? Wow. Snuggled right in here. Snuggle, baby. Thank you, baby. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Yeah. Hey, baby. Hey, Goose. Hello, friends. It is now Monday, technically Tuesday, because it's 1 a.m. What's new? But I have tomorrow off because it's Truth and Reconciliation Day here in Canada, and it is finally recognized as a stat holiday in Manitoba, and so I have it off from work, from both work and work, which is nice. Weird as fuck that it's a Tuesday though. Like, I mean, obviously Truth and Reconciliation Day is September 30th, so like whatever that day lands in the week, right? But it's a Tuesday. We have a Tuesday off tomorrow. Very strange. Very odd. Oh well. Anyways, I wanted to pop in and officially close out this vlog because I have just been sitting here rotting on my couch for a while. I ended up reading 2 books this weekend. I've read the best book of the year. I've already put them both on my shelves too, like a fucking fool. Like, we're also having a storm right now and it's delightful. I also read this on Thursday. I talked about it at the beginning. It was just fine. I'm probably gonna end up selling that book because it was kind of mid. The writing was, I just had a bunch of words flash to my brain and I'm like, no, none of those really work. Like, the words were like juvenile and plain and like, yeah, in a way, but also just like not engaging. And there was something weird about the writing where it felt like it was being told in an upside down way. That's a very odd thing to say. Like, it just felt like the narrative we were getting was very passive. And I think that's what my issue was with this book the whole time, is that our main character felt very passive the whole time with The House of the Beast. It was just fine for me. It really didn't do anything for me. Unfortunately, the writing was really not for me and I didn't like the story, but I liked where it went at the end. I will say that. So it wasn't like super terrible, but this weekend, well, you guys were witness to both of them. I finally finished Katabasis by R.F. Kuang. I have yet to run this through Cough-Pile or anything, but it's probably 3.5, 4 star, leaning probably towards more of the 4 star because I see what she was doing with this and I did really enjoy it. And I think she's a fucking brilliant storyteller and conceptualizer of worlds and plots and all that kind of stuff. And her writing is really interesting. Like, the writing in here was very, very dry and blunt and to its point. And I mentioned in my previous reading vlog where I was reading this, where I started it, that it felt like I said it in a weird way. Reading this felt like I had that like Wes Anderson music playing on a track in my mind. Like, it felt, especially the beginning, just the way that it was written, felt like a old-timey British comedy movie that was kind of dumb. Like, it felt dry and just like that. I don't know. But I think also it was so academic, but don't be scared of it. I didn't understand a thing they were saying most of the time. I got a lot of the references to like Dante and stuff because of my English degree, but like a lot of people who were on social media saying like, oh, you need to have like a PhD to read this, or oh, you have all this required reading before you need to. No, you don't. You can go into a book and just enjoy it for what it is. You don't need to understand every single fucking word. I mean, if you want to, of course, go for it. You don't need to. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm glad I read this. And I'm glad I read it like as quickly as I did, because I have a tendency to get like really anticipated books and then just leave them on my shelves for so long and just never read them. I'm looking at you, A Day of Fallen Night. And then I read my favorite book of the year. My favorite book of the year. 5 stars. 5 stars, absolutely. 6 stars. This was stunning, incredible, amazing. I do not want to hear a single word of criticism about this book. Like, this is one of those books. This one and Empire of Exiles are like 2 of the books in this world that I'm just like, I don't want to hear a single thing that you think negatively about this book. I don't want to hear it. Like, I don't care. I don't care. I can see why people might not like this after, like, you know, retrospect and thinking about it and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was a little slower. It was a little bit more calm and gentle in many, many, many ways. But like, holy shit, was it absolutely perfect for the tone that it gives us, the vibe that it gives us, the yearning, the characters, the fact that Gray and Kier are meant for each other. They are soulmates. And this book was fucking phenomenal. Obviously, I will never stop yapping about this. This was perfect. I don't even know if I can recommend it though, because now I'm scared that people are going to hate it if they read it on my recommendation. Anyways, so that was my weekend, my friends. I also sold a fuck ton of books at the queer book fair this weekend. I'm so happy about it. It was an absolutely fantastic day. It was just such a great weekend. And I'm so glad that I could experience that and experience it with you guys. But anyways, from both Freya and I, we're going to sign off. Thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you in another video very soon. Hey baby. Mwah. Stay kind and keep on reading.